What's going on, guys? Welcome to This is KC Sports with Bishop and your man, Brandon the Franchise, right here on This is KC Sports. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Bishop, I'm Franchise. Bishop, what's going on, man? We had a week.
What's going on?
Now we're back.
Yeah, man. A little bit under the weather. It kind of just hit me out of nowhere overnight. It's so weird.
We love that, right?
We're here. Yeah, it's so weird. So weird, man.
It is weird. Of course, Lucky, he wants to say hi as he's upside down right next to the door, so that's going to be a great distraction for the next hour or so. But,
right.
But of course, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at IE Sports Radio. You can watch us live, actually, on YouTube. Just check out IE Sports Radio. Find us on anything podcast available, IE Podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good jazz. You can go to us directly, iesportsradio.com/This is KC Sports. As always, you can find us on the Twitter at This is KC_IESR. You can follow myself at Real Franchise. And then, of course, my man Bishop at XRunners with a Z at the end. Of course, we have to give the lays and praise to the people that pay our electric bill at Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, as well as Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Man, if I could tell you in the last 24 hours how crazy Kansas City would be on a Monday, on the 26th of August, mind you, I could only tell you my exact answer would be anything can happen in Kansas City. And sure enough, within the last 24 hours, in fact, the last 36 hours or whatnot, things have been happening in Kansas City. And we're going to be talking about that. In fact, we're going to be talking about that at the very beginning of the show. But first and foremost, we have to pay our bills and we have to take care of the people that take care of us. So ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we will be right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back right here. This is KC Sports, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. We've got to say hello to, of course, one of our shows, the Seattle Sideline. Thank you very much for letting us know to have a great episode. Do we think Kansas City is winning week one? We'll talk about that here in a second. Mr. Taryn Rodriguez, good evening, Bishop and Franchise. Have a great show. Thank you very much, sir, for always the support. And, of course, Marcus, salute to you too as well, sir. Man, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. I know people are going to be talking in our chat. Thank you if you're watching us live on Instagram, or if you're watching us live on YouTube, or wherever you may be watching us, or even listening to us later on down the road. Bishop, let's talk slow. Let's call this the slow burn. Let's slowly get up to where we're going to go, because I know that you saw the news. I know that I was excited about the news. I even, just a spoiler alert, decided to go on TikTok and see if he had posted anything, and sure enough, he did. So he's back to his old antics again. But let's talk about it. We lost to the Lions 24-23. Wasn't expecting that one. Of course, also I was on patrol, but the real job. And I was watching that and listening to it. I just knew as soon as they were getting ready for the field goal that it was just over and done with. We've seen this song and dance before. And then, of course, last week we lost to the Bears 34-21. From those two games in itself, granted, we talked about this 2 weeks ago. From those two games, we talked about how this is just second string, third string, fourth string, just trying to find a job, trying to get a job, with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think we really need to discuss Carson Steele. I'm almost for certain he just signed his contract after the Detroit game, the Bears game. But what can you say about anything else? Was there anybody who is basically a rookie that hasn't been with the team before that really stood out to you?
Montreal Washington, I believe. That guy, his training camp. I don't know how good he did in the preseason game. Well, I think he did okay. His training camp, he did very well. So he stood out. I don't know if he actually, solidified a spot on the roster yet. I see that, that there's a few names, a few people got cut or waived, I guess. So, his name been on that list so far. So,
yeah, absolutely. I guess realistically, my all-time favorite that has, that's trying to get a job, which I ultimately think he's going to get a job, is going to be Carson Steele. He's just been absolutely amazing. He's been just plummeting through the field, kind of like Isaiah Pacheco, with the angry run, if you will. And he just stands out. He looks great. He's a phenomenal athlete, and it's kind of cool that we have, say later on down the road, if and when it happens, that we have a Kansas City Chiefs player that owns a pet crocodile. I mean, that's something you hear in Florida.
Yeah, no stuff, man. But yeah, I think Carson Steele, I think he pretty much solidified his spot on this team, definitely because it gives Kansas City that 1-2 punch in the backfield. I mean, he can catch out the backfield. Pacheco's working on that. He can, I went back today and rewatch that AFC Championship game with the Chiefs versus Baltimore because next week we'll be seeing that rematch. And so there's some things I wanted to see because when you're in the moment, you kind of miss a lot. You're on the edge of your seat all the time during that moment. And so I was like, let me go back and watch. And to my surprise, not being biased, but Kansas City pretty much dominated that game the whole time. And I was kind of taken back. And so but what I saw was that we were running Pacheco a lot that game. And so now having Carson Steele, we kind of have that, because, anybody, you pretty much start, burning out after so many runs, right? And so, or so many plays in general. So now you have Carson Steele, who we saw what he's capable of doing, running folks over during the whole entire preseason. I think it's going to put us over the edge running back wise.
I think it will. I think it's almost turning into a all Madden team, which I'm not against. I mean, 1990, what was it, 93, 94 when we had Joe Montana. If you were to tell me in the year 2024 that we're going to have all of these weapons and this and forth, and we're trying to go for a literal three-peat in Super Bowl history, in NFL history, and anything history, I would have said you're absolutely out of your mind. It's a nice thought, but then again, I was in third grade back then. And now look at us. Like, I never, ever, ever would have thought that we were going to be in this position where, we have the weapons and we have all the good stuff like that. And I mean, let me tell you, speaking of weapons, two big things. Okay. Let's put our thinker caps on and do the math, which I don't know about you, Bishop. I sucked at math. After calculus, burnt my brain. I was out. But I did a little bit of the statistics on the Google here. Creed Humphrey, ladies and gentlemen, in case you weren't around this weekend or what have you, extends for 4 more years as the highest paid center in the NFL at $72 million with a $50 million guarantee. Now, how is that possible? Well, Patrick Mahomes. Need I say more? He's restructured his contract to free up more than $21 million in cap room. Since then, Travis Kelce got a raise and an extension. Chris Jones, Creed Humphrey, and Harrison Butker, all three have become the highest paid players at their respective positions. What can you not say about Creed Humphrey? I mean, growing up, I don't know about anybody else, and this is just me, but growing up, you don't really I hate to say this because it sucks, but you don't really pay attention to like the center. You don't really pay attention to maybe, the offense as much, like the tight ends, the receivers, the running backs, the quarterback, yada, yada, yada. You forget about those who actually have to have some sort of skill set to order to be in their said position. I think, honestly, for the longest time, there might have been a gap. And then you hear about this guy over in Philadelphia named Jason Kelce. And, probably one of the most loved, liked players in the NFL. And even people outside of Philadelphia were upset in a thank you for the memories kind of emotion when he retired. Now, it's fun to see him in Arrowhead, in the sweet box with the Kelce family and Taylor and everybody else. And then, you look for the next big man. Well, in this case, it is Creed Humphrey. We are definitely in our Patriot stage right now. We are paying players. We are, trying to find ways to continue to be the absolute best. What are your thoughts about Creed Humphrey and his 4-year extension?
Well deserved. I mean, he is one of the top centers in the league, and he has been paid as one of the top centers in the league. So with that being said, I'm kind of wanting to see. You kind of get that. You're like, oh man, it's a good thing, and but you kind of always want to see what's next. So I want to see what they do with Trey Smith. Like how are they gonna? I don't know what Brent Beach is doing, but he's doing it, and so
Yeah.
I want to see how the money goes, how it keeps going. Um, but yeah, Creed Humphrey, man, he deserved every penny that he got, um, and I'm happy for him.
As am I. As am I. And I tell you, we were talking about how the Chiefs can make it back to a three-peat, how we can do this and that. Obviously, we were paying significant amounts of money to significant players on the team. We're keeping people. We were making great additions. But we just made one addition this morning, and he has returned to not only the Kansas City Chiefs, but he is back to his antics on the TikTok. Ladies and gentlemen, Juju Smith-Schuster. That dude is back in Kansas City with a one-year deal. He's going to be back to wearing number 9, so in which case that means Louis Rees Zammit will be changed over to 49. Man, I'm pumped for that. I don't care. He was fun to watch. He had drops, this and that, but so did everybody else. But guess what? I like him. What did you think when you heard?
So, like I said, like I said, last night, I was fine all yesterday. We had family over for brunch yesterday. So, from around 11 a.m. all the way up until about 7 p.m., maybe 8, I was fine. And then out of nowhere, boom. And so I wake up this morning and from a date NyQuil coma, and I checked my notifications because they were going crazy. And I saw Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm like, nah, I'm hungover from NyQuil. This ain't real. What the hell? Somebody's playing. Somebody's playing. And Adam Schefter, I believe, was who posted on first. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing with Juju again? Like, I like Juju. But I thought I could have sworn like the issues he was having, something about his knee or ankle up there in New England. And so I'm like, what are we gonna do with this? I'm curious. I mean, a lot of people are saying it's the cover for Rashid Rice whenever his suspension get handed down. But I don't know. I'm a little torn. I'm not sure what to think. It was out of nowhere.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I didn't have any. I didn't have any indications um, that he was coming back to the team. They were even in talks. Typically, like in professional wrestling, you kind of hear the rumor mill. You're like, hey, such and such is thinking about coming on over, and then sure enough, this weekend we realized, and this will be on the wrestling show for IE Sports. Ricochet, who just left WWE, made his debut at All In this weekend in London for AEW. We kind of knew it was going to happen. His contract ran out. He just waited X, and then he joined a different company. You don't really hear that too much in professional sports outside of maybe wrestling, or I mean, you might occasionally, but not much. So to hear about Juju this morning at I want to say 8 or 9 o'clock, that was pretty crazy, and I got that all from the Twitter feed. That was just like, huh. And then you have to go back. You can't just. It's not like a Facebook thing where it's like somebody posts, but they have no credibility. Like you have to look and do all that jazz. And after 3 sources, I was like, boom, done.
Yeah, and honestly, shout out to Ralph Khalees. He is a host here at IE Sports Radio. He got the injury report. He said, take care of his former Steeler Juju because he covers Pittsburgh Steelers. He is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I would have thought that Juju would have tried to go back to the Steelers after New England. Like it just would have made sense. They could use a receiver over there, someone of his stature, to get that veteran presence, I guess. But yeah, send him back here in Kansas City. It's a little odd because I'm kind of like, okay, so who's the odd receiver out? Like I feel like McCole should always have a spot on this team. You know,
Oh, for
a
sure.
lot of people say that McColl's probably out. Now, I feel like he done enough to have a spot in.
I agree.
And so it makes no sense. I know we can't keep all of them, and there's some good ass receivers that we saw all preseason and training camp, and it sucks because we can't carry them all. But I don't know.
It's definitely something to watch. You know, you said it best. We don't know what Veach is doing, but he's doing it. So there's definitely a reason to the badness. There's always that good jazz. Um, you know, and I just can't wait. I can't wait. Next week can't come soon enough. And all I can say is, pending with my schedule, I sure as hell hope that I have that evening off because I will be somewhere, whether it be home or wherever. Maybe I'll say hi to the girls over at Twin Peaks. I don't know, but I'm definitely watching that game. I am definitely watching that.
That don't sound like a bad idea, actually.
No, it doesn't. I'm plain Jane. I get a Caesar salad with a salmon on top. But
There you go.
let's see here. 529. Thank you very much to everybody that has taken the time out of their day to watch this show. Thank you for bearing with us at the fact that we were gone for a week. We just need to take a little chill pill, and we're back. We're back. Thank you, of course, to the comments. The people watching us live right now, the people that might be watching us from afar, or even later on in the week, if you decide to listen to us, you can listen to us on that. That's great. 529, I think now is a good time for us to go ahead and pay a little bit more bills to the people that pay our light bill, whatnot. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Alongside, we're going to be talking about the Kansas City Royals because they have a very unique situation going on today in Cleveland. And then we will talk about Sporting KC and the KC Current to basically wrap up the show and whatnot. So, folks, we will be right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, do you like teams that are tough, cities that are tougher, and fan bases that are passionate about their teams? How about teams that are historic and stadiums that are iconic? Then you belong in Chicago, and you need to check out Chi-Town Weekly. Join me, Adam Kernan, every week as we keep up with all things Chicago sports. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. We'll cover them all, plus more. The Windy City is always buzzing, and we'll keep you up on all the big games and major stories. So tune in to Chi-Town Weekly every week right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Everybody, this is Darren Rodriguez. Are you a fan of volleyball? Are you a fan of Thunder Spikes? Then I have the show for you. Set Point, where I cover NCAA men's and women's volleyball, high school boys and girls volleyball, beach volleyball, and even professional volleyball. Catch the action every week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Folks, we are back right here on KC Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you all so very, very much for tuning on in. We appreciate you. Thank you for our 1 week hiatus. We're back. Of course, as always, follow us on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at IE Sports Radio. You can also find us on anything podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google, all the good things that you can find your podcast needs. To find us directly, iesportsradio.com/This Is KC Sports. Of course, you can find us on the Twitter at This Is KC_IESR. You can follow me, your boy, at Real Franchise, and of course, Bishop at X Runners with a Z on the end. Big thank you to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Okay, what are we going to talk about now? Let's talk about the Kansas City Royals. They have a very unique situation going on today. It is a doubleheader. We haven't heard one of those in kind of a minute. But they are second. They are only 2 games from first in the AL Central. Currently, right now which we'll talk about here in a second, 74-58. And then Cleveland is 75-57. And what do I mean by that? What I mean exactly is the fact that Kansas City won last Monday against the Angels 5-3. They lost to the Angels again on Tuesday, 9-5, and then came back Wednesday, 3-0 with the win. And then, of course, August 23rd, they beat the Phillies 7-4, lost the 24th 11-2, and then loses again yesterday 11-3. Now today they're in Cleveland, and they're doing a doubleheader, and it's just going to be me for a little bit. We got a little bit of technical difficulties, not a big deal. Bishop will be right back. Today they're in Cleveland, and they won their first game of a doubleheader, 4-3, and then tonight here in just shy of 6 minutes, they will be taking them on again, and then as well as 5:40 tomorrow in Cleveland as well. So today was a very unique day. Let's talk about a little bit of highlights here. There's one highlight that I can tell you about that is just absolutely insane. It is insane. And I don't think I'm able to really show off the audio, but I can definitely tell you that this dude is just absolutely crazy. In fact, let's see. Yes, we can. MJ Melendez. This dude. What can you say about him? They hit the ball, and it looks like it was going to the left, the far left. We thought maybe it might go for a home run or whatever. And he just literally just boom, like flies across the screen just to get the ball, and he catches it. It was a diving catch. You see everybody's jaws just like lock, and they're just like, what is going on here? This is insane. Absolutely, it's insane. If you have any type of ESPN highlights, you can go on ESPN on the app or .com, definitely YouTube, definitely Twitter. Look up at bturner23. That's Braden Turner. That's where I got my video source. At bturner23. And just look at MJ Melendez. Like, his caption was, his head's exploding. Mine is exploding as well. It's just absolutely insane. So, giving you a little bit of highlights from the game. Looks like Bishop will be gone for just a short minute. He will be back. He also smashed a 3-run home run for the Royals. So that indefinitely concluded for the first game, which I want to say concluded about 1:32 o'clock this afternoon. So looking at the score sheet right now, I do apologize, I was off. The Royals are currently 73-58, whereas Cleveland is 75-56. So if the Royals come back here in about 3 minutes and they win this game, that will indefinitely increase their chances to claiming the AL Central, especially with one more game coming up tomorrow. I would love to get, since Bishop isn't here for right now, I would love to get anybody in the comment section who are either watching this on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube currently. If anybody has any type of thoughts or whatnot, big shout out again to the people that have been around. Of course, we have the Seattle sidelines. Thank you very much for you, sir. We have Taryn Rodriguez, always a support, as well as Marcus is great. Ralph Calise, big shout out to him. And then, of course, always Arizona Sports. That is a show that I have not had a chance to meet yet. Keyword yet, but we'll get there. We'll be okay. So Royals chances are today. Checking out the ESPN app on my phone over here. I know, really professional, Brandon. Good job. I am not seeing anything crazy other than the fact that ESPN Bet does have the Royals winning this game. I'll tell you, I'm not a betting man. I don't do the whole betting thing. When I was married, she would go to the slot machines and I would end up going to the bar. And then when I learned how to play blackjack, I lost my first game and I said one and done. But what I can tell you is I don't leave the betting the chance. I know it's not. I understand the politics when it comes to say Las Vegas when they especially for the Super Bowl and they have big bet games because Vegas is definitely a runner when it comes to participating with sports and what have you. I think we all know that. The evil power such as money has some sort of a collaboration, and so that's where it comes on by. But what I'm trying to get at is I don't believe that I'm not a firm believer on the whole ESPN bet game, let alone DraftKings, let alone whatever outing is out there. The players, they're just going to do what they got to do. They know they need to win these next two games, which the next game is starting up here in just shy of 30 seconds. Then, of course, tomorrow again at 5:40. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch that one. That'll be good. And I just got a notification that it just started. So, booyah, right on plate. So it looks like we have Marsh, who's on the plate right now. He's going to get the game started, and we will just progress and see what is going down with that later on. So moving forward, actually we're going to see what happens here. We're going to see what happens. There he is. All right, Bishop, welcome back, sir. We were just
Internet
talking.
has been going out for the past couple of days, in and out all day.
You're good, dude. You're good. Especially in Kansas City, or at least on the Missouri side. I don't know if it's dragon breath over there, but it's dragon breath over here, and it's just dude, like it is humid as all get out. But what I was just got done saying was we talked about the Royals being 2 games away from first place, how MJ Melendez had that crazy diving catch.
Insane.
And he also had a 3-run home run to basically seal the deal against the Guardians, at least for this round. And we have Marsh, who's on plate right now, getting ready to start game 2 for today's doubleheader.
And Melinda's catch was crazy. Our beautiful producer today is Jen B. She is the host of Showland, which covers Cleveland, Cleveland sports such as the Guardians and the Cleveland Browns. So hopefully we get the win. We get the doubleheader sweep today. Hopefully, that'll put us closer in that first place.
100.
Because we're behind Cleveland Guardians. So
we are, and that would be a great addition to everything great that is happening in Kansas City. I hope they do. I might just catch the rest of it later on, or what have you, and then definitely tomorrow. So, sorry, losing my train of thought. I keep forgetting that we're in August and this is election time. So my iPad and iPhone have been blowing up with, hey, don't forget to vote, and hey, this is such and such candidate and whatnot. Just when you think like you have your phone on Do Not Disturb, yeah, no, didn't happen. I'm just thankful I didn't get any phone calls or whatnot.
Right.
So that's going to be a good thing. That's going to be a good thing. Let's go on and talk a little bit about Sporting KC. Nothing too crazy, nothing to, throw confetti about, but we still got to talk about it because we support Sporting KC, whether they're in a good season or not. Of course, they lost the League Cup round 32 against Columbus. I think we kind of knew that was going to happen. Maybe it was just, yeah, exactly. It was fancy that. Didn't we talk about this? How maybe they just need to throw away the season and start next year?
Just forget about it. Yeah.
Forget about it. Saturday they did beat Orlando City 3-0, and then tomorrow at 7:30 is the semifinal round of the U.S. Open Cup when they take on Indy 11. My only thoughts so far, because I did get a chance this weekend to watch the game against Orlando City. I was very thankful for that. I didn't think that the place that I went to eat would be airing that match, but they did, so I was happy about that. But when earlier this year, when I went to the Legends with the nice person that gave me this and gave you that, that was the first time. Because granted, I've been gone for 18 years. I was living in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and I had absolutely zero idea that Sporting KC's soccer stadium was right there. The closest thing that I got was Children's Mercy Stadium, which was the practice field for the Sporting KC, which was close to a old site that I used to dispatch for, and I thought that was cool in itself because it's right next to the zoo. But actually seeing the stadium from Dave and Buster's, and not seeing the inside, but seeing enough, that just, it blows your mind. And I don't know if you're the same way as me, but sometimes when you watch a team for X, which I was really happy, and I was kind of cheering a little bit when I saw that they went old school with the Kansas City Wizards uniforms. I thought that was pretty cool because literally the Kansas City Wizards were playing at Arrowhead before they had their own stadiums to play at. And that was the first soccer match. And of course, I remember where we were, and I was just making fun of them because of the flops. Dick move. But, I didn't realize how much I would appreciate it later until it actually happened that we got our own stadiums for all four organizations, where we are in football, where we are in baseball, where we are in female soccer and men's soccer, and just good things, just really good things. So I hope that for the rest of the season, long story short, I hope for the rest of the season that Sporting KC, they just do what they do. I understand running for 90 minutes probably isn't the easiest thing to do, especially if you're very unconditioned like me. I played football and I wrestled. What do I know about soccer other than constant cardio? Technical difficulties again. Bishop will be right back. But I tell you, the number one thing that I really enjoyed about that afternoon when I was up at the Legends was just the aura that you get when you see a stadium up close and personal. I know when I accidentally took a right turn off of 435 and in Clay County, and I ended up in the city, and I didn't realize that the KC Current Stadium was right next to me. And I got to see the inside. I got to see the outside. It's just that aura feel. It's that aura feel that I think any mega fan for their state has. and it's fun. It's definitely a show. You definitely get that entertainment factor. Now, granted, when I was involved in professional wrestling and I was in that 18 by 18 squared circle and this and that, it was completely different because I was a part of the show. So I couldn't really enjoy it as a fan per se, as more of a worker. Now, when I was going to shows like WWE or AEW, you would go into the T-Mobile Center or for AEW's case, Cable Dahmer in Independence, and you would just you'd see the ring, you would see the stage, you would see the lights, you would hear the atmosphere. It's just a completely different world. And that's definitely what I get, or what you would definitely get when you go into Arrowhead Stadium. There's nothing like it. If you're a Kansas City native and you've never been to Arrowhead Stadium, you have to. And I understand tickets are going to be absolutely stupid insane this season, especially if we make it to the postseason. But if you are able and willing and able to afford going to a game at Arrowhead, you got to do it. Same with Kauffman Stadium. It's a different aura. Bishop, welcome back, sir. What I was basically saying was, the topic of the aura feeling of what you get when you see and go into a stadium such as Sporting KC Current. I was just talking about if you are able and willing and able to afford, you should go to Arrowhead Stadium and Kauffman Stadium, just because of the history and just the feel that everybody gets.
Oh yeah, it's definitely unlike anything else, man, as far as I'm concerned. And people who come, to watch their teams take on our teams are, they tell you the same thing. It's the aura of the stadium and such. It's just nice.
It is. And then of course you have us townies that have been there. I believe you were there last week for the Chicago game. Yep.
Watch that beat down.
Yep. I was going to text you and be like, hey, are you at the game? Because I think I might just go. It was
fun. We just wanted to get out the house and, just do something. I mean, it's preseason. We knew what we were expecting. We wasn't expecting nothing crazy. We just wanted to get out and enjoy some fresh air pretty much.
For sure. Let's see here. I wanted to. I'm actually glad I didn't, because had I known that I was going to be awake and all over the place at 7 a.m. the next morning, it was probably good that I rested my voice and I wasn't in a live crowd feel or anything like that, knowing what I was going to be dealing with that Friday. But it's okay. It's fine. There's other games. There's 16 games this season. So, I mean, we'll be fine. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just take a quick commercial break. We're going to pay the people that spend money on us. And then we're going to finish out the show with Kansas City Current and any other thoughts that we might want to go ahead and close segment with. And hopefully everything works well. Folks, we will be right back. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. We'll be right back.
What's up, New York? This is Ricky K coming at you with the NY State of Sports, a new show here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Listen to me every Thursday afternoon as we bring you the latest takes on the Yankees, Mets, Jets, Giants, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils, and Islanders. Plus, you get some college hoops and what's the local sports events going on in the area. It's a state that never sleeps, so why not get the opinions and sports takes that never sleep? Again, every Thursday, 2 p.m. to the NY State of Sports. We'll see you then.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph Calise, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, diehard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports. And I will update you on all that's black and gold and have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends what's up with Pittsburgh sports. Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
Welcome back, folks. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning on in. You can follow us on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at iesportsradio.com. You can, of course, also follow us on any podcast need that you choose on whatever platform, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, all that good jazz. You can even watch us live on YouTube at IE Sports Radio. Just check us out. IE Sports Radio, and there's going to be a page for This is KC Sports, as well as you can, you can go to us directly at iesportsradio.com/This is KC Sports. You can follow us on the Twitter at This is KC_IESR. Follow myself at Real Franchise, and then of course follow my man Bishop at XRunners with a Z. Of course, give our praise to Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet, as well as Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the Kansas City Current, the KC Current. They are such a unique team. I've enjoyed thoroughly watching them this season. I've enjoyed wearing my current merch and getting compliments from everybody. Hey, good hat. Hey, good shirt. And I'm like, I appreciate it. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, a week ago, whenever it was. And we are still trying to find a right place, right time to get the Teal guy, aka Richard Harper, onto the show. I think that would be great. That would be a great segment to have him on there. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But anyways, the Current, the ladies, they win the Women's Cup against Madrid 1-0. That was something special. I got a chance to watch that game. Granted, the score was low, but it was still entertaining because we knew what was on the line. To see the celebration, that was also after the Chiefs lose to the Bears, and then they made their way down the street. It was Patrick, Brittany, Travis, and I believe Creed, and all four of them, and maybe Isaiah Pacheco. I want to say there was another one there, but regardless, they were all there in the stands to watch the women do their thing, and they did. They win the Women's Cup. Unfortunately, lose to the Washington Spirit 4-1 yesterday. That's okay. It's just a game. And then they come back September 1 against the North Carolina Courage. Bishop, what do you think about them winning the Cup?
I was happy to see. It hurts a little bit to check the standings and they fall to third place after that loss to the Spirits or whatnot. But I was happy to see them win that cup, man. I was like, they deserve it. They kicking butt. Still got some games, quite a few games left. See what happens here.
100%. I thought it was so good for women's sports. I thought it was so good for Kansas City. I thought it was so good for everything and the message that the Kansas City Current are trying to broadcast to females and to little girls and what have you that might be in sports or want to be in sports or whatever the case may be. And this was such a great message to send on out. And then on top of that, for them to win such a prestigious award such as the Women's Cup, You know, and they're still a very young team. Very, very, very standing ovation right there. I couldn't be more happier for them. Plenty of games coming on up, plenty of matches coming on up. I've been on the outside. I haven't been on the inside. Maybe I can talk to Richard about hooking us up. You know, me and you, and or at least have him send me the number to whoever he's talking to. But you know, if you're able and willing and able to afford, definitely go to a Kansas City Current game. It's going to be over in the opposite side of City Market, and yeah, you just got to go out, support your team, support the cause, support the athletes. You might get a chance to see some Chiefs players, and maybe, pending the circumstance, you might be able to see a little bit of Tavis, if you will. So that would be fun. She did just get a house in Kansas City somewhere. So I mean, that'll be cool. Man, oh man, I believe we're getting pretty close to the top of the hour. It might be time for us to go ahead and call it a night. But Bishop, any last minute thoughts that you got?
Not really. Like I said, just to run off the list of names waived today by the Kansas City Chiefs, cornerback Miles Battle, quarterback Ian Book, which is not really a surprise there. Wide receiver Phillip Brooks, edge Owen Carney, cornerback Eko Boyd Doe, defensive tackle Alex Gubner, Kelvin Joseph, cornerback, which I didn't really see that coming. Guard Griffin McDowell, wide receiver Cal Sheets, guard Nick Torres, and tight end Speedy. I'm not even going to attempt the first name.
No,
that first name is something.
that's a unique one for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you know, it's part of the business. It's part of the business, and that's just, it is what it is. But you know, it just leads us to another season. We're getting close to game 1 against the Baltimore Ravens. That will be an intense game. I'm, of course, biasly, I'm cheering for the Chiefs to win, but also in the same sense, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens pull it off. Everybody in the NFL is coming out for revenge.
They added Derrick Henry, who we know is a very skilled bulldozer / running back. But like I said, going back and watching that AFC Championship game, it says a lot, man. Like, the Chiefs were in control with the team that we had. They were in control, and adding Carson Steele, I think it's gonna put us a little over the top, you know. And Juju is back now. I mean, think about it. We had MVS when we was playing in the AFC Championship game. Now we have Juju, maybe, hopefully he's healthy and ready to go. But so yeah, I don't see why we couldn't win that game. Like I said, I know they're going to play hard. I mean, they're pissed off. So, you know, but if they contain, all you got to do is contain Lamar Jackson. You know, I've seen a lot of missed tackles. You know, they got to him. They were getting to him in that AFC Championship game. He's just a slippery little dude. You know, you got to wrap him up. They wrapped him up a few times. He's easily frustrated. So
100%.
100%. It's easy. It should be automatic, honestly.
It should be an automatic deal. I remember. I don't know why, and I'm still in question here. Why the NFL hasn't broadcasted and produced last year's, or this year's, I should say, Super Bowl, because I have the last 2 Super Bowls on Amazon Prime that I go back and watch. I'm assuming it might have something to do with Taylor. And copyrights or brandings or this and that, whatever. But if that's the case, it's a low on the totem pole excuse. But regardless, what I'm trying to say is, going back and watching that Ravens game, and then going back and watching that the Titans right before we made it to the Super Bowl against San Francisco, we took on Derrick Henry before. We've taken him on a couple of times in the season. And it looks like we're going to be doing it again. So, I mean, at least the veteran guys are prepared and ready to roll, or at least they should be. And
Right.
again, as long as we can contain, then we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And strangely
Oh, yeah.
enough, the beginning of the season starts on a Thursday.
Yeah, that's so weird, man. It's
I know.
so weird, but
I'm
I'm ready
so
for it.
bored on Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what I hate, man. Is like when we play Monday night, Thursday night. You like, dude, we don't Chiefs don't play. So it's so weird, man. I don't know.
I mean, it's just gotten to this point. It's gotten to the point, and of course, again, the Kansas City Royals are taking on the Cleveland Guardians right now. They are playing Game 2 of a doubleheader, and they will be playing again tomorrow at 5:40. The Kansas City or Sporting KC will be back in action here fairly soon, as well as the Kansas City Current. They'll be, the Sporting KC will be in the semifinal round at the U.S. Open Cup when they take on Indy 11 tomorrow at 7:30, and then September 1, KC Current will be taking on the North Carolina Courage. So, with that being said, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy on up. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sticking with us and what have you. I appreciate you guys. I know that Bishop appreciates you guys as well. We will be back next week. Same back time, same back channel. As always, we'll be ready to roll with new stats. We'll be talking a lot more about Kansas City. We'll be talking a lot more about the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be talking about the doubleheader that happened today, as well as Sporting KC, as well as Kansas City Current. And as always, for Bishop, my name is Brandon the Franchise Buck. This is KC Sports with Bishop and Franchise. And folks, we will catch you guys next week. This is KC Sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Thank you and good night.